Hello from the Dukascopy TV studio in Geneva. I'm Daniel Schwenger. We are talking about trends in the non-profit sector and particularly digital fundraising together with Marco Zaug. He is founder and CEO of Getunic, an agency that is specialized in digital fundraising. Marco, welcome to the studio.
Hello.
So there are fundamental change in the non-profit sector, and especially fundraising is changing. So can you describe what digital fundraising means and also how donor behavior changes these days?
Yeah, good questions. So first, the digital fundraising. What is digital fundraising? It's basically giving money through a digital channel. Digital channel means I have a mobile phone or I have a computer at home, I have an iPad at home, I have a TV that is connected to internet, or even have people in the streets having tablets that basically raise money for a specific organization, a specific cause. And yeah, that's basically digital fundraising, and digital fundraising is changing the landscape of fundraising in general, as it does also in other areas of business. Digital transformation, which is one of these big words terms, is also catching up in the fundraising industry. And generally, what we see based on our statistical data, we have a lot of statistical data. We operate a large e-payment infrastructure for organizations to do digital fundraising. And based on that statistical data, we see that there is a shift towards individualism, personalization. People tend to analyze more before they give. So it's not like the old-fashioned way where people receive direct mailings and do just take out pay-in slips and say, okay, I'll donate now based on that mailing. Nowadays, they go online, they inform themselves and are critical about the fact whether the organization is using the money the right way. And that is generally quite a heavy task for the organization to adapt to that behavior. We see that younger people tend to be influenced by their networks much more than that they are responsive to classical commercial advertising methods. So that means my friends tells me, please donate to that organization is much more effective than having a big advertisement at the station, for example.
So you mean the mailing that is regularly sent by postal mail is getting outdated. So the new thing is digital channels and especially social networks.
I wouldn't say outdated, because as a matter of fact, and it's still the reality that direct mailing, the physical direct mailing sent by a post, is still the most effective way of fundraise larger sums in the individual giving area. That means fundraising from individual people. Whereas the digital fundraising is still considerably small in terms of volume, but is getting more and more market share or share amongst fundraising channels year by year. So it's a matter of fact that the digitalization is already catching up here. So the organization today can still cope with that, leave digital small, but actually they have to adapt to the behavior. Otherwise, in 5 years' time, they will lose a lot of market share, basically.
So let's take these possibilities of digital fundraising and also including social networks. How can, let's say, established NGOs utilize the power of social networks and digital fundraising?
There was a big hype actually about the social media effect on fundraising. There was also quite consternation in the industry, as social media turned out not to be the most effective fundraising channel. As a matter of fact, we see that the social media channels are still very important and gain more importance as an influence tool to basically drive people to the respective websites instead of fundraising directly on Facebook, for example. And therefore, we have a good example actually that nicely shows how the effect of social media is having an impact on also large organizations. We had a situation last year with the Swiss Red Cross being asked by expats of the Balkan area, so ex-Yugoslavia, so Serbia, for example, Bosnia-Herzegovina. There was a flood during May, and the expats came to Swiss Red Cross asking, are you having people down there helping our families? And Swiss Red Cross was prepared to such requests that came in through Facebook. So it was not by phone, it wasn't by email, wasn't by letter, it was basically by Facebook. So they had social media manager in place. They came up with the topic internally. They decided within 2 hours, yes, we are going to fundraise because we do have the right organizations in place in these local countries. And 3 hours later, they already had special landing pages on the website. They had SMS giving options up and running. They communicated back to the community via Facebook, telling them, yes, we do fundraise, and here's the way to do. Just use this SMS keyword, and with your SMS, you can basically donate up to 100 Swiss francs. The expats took that and took it into their diasporas, into their communities, and that was it. Basically, there was no more interactivity with interaction with Red Cross. It turned out to be within 9 hours that more than 200,000 Swiss francs have been donated through the SMS channel, a couple of 10,000 through the website, and that took on day by day. The media, actually, the classical media, they took up that topic, the flood in ex-Yugoslavia, in Balkan, 2 or 3 days later. So it turned out to be that the expats actually were much quicker. The organization was able to respond. Time to market is a key element here. They had everything in place. They empowered themselves to really be ready for such a situation, and that turned out to be the right strategy for that.
So social media really provided a feedback quicker and also quicker respond to the market need in this way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we noticed that actually social media was the easiest way for people to just ask a personal question. That's what we generally see in other areas on social media as well, is that people just drop a question right away. They don't have to ask themselves, okay, what is the email address of the right person to ask for? They just say, okay, Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, dear Red Cross, how do I donate for this specific cause? And that is basically a good opportunity for bigger or also smaller organizations to basically be closer to their donor base.
And your agency, Get Unique, is really specialized on the non-profit sector. What solutions actually do you now offer your customers? Can you quickly describe maybe?
Yeah, it would take hours actually. There's so many things we do actually. We initially thought digital fundraising is straightforward. It's basically a website having a donation form, that's it. Turned out to be there's much more complexity in it. So we do have a changing landscape in the e-payment industry. So Apple Watches, for example, cell phones that are capable to do much more than just doing phone calls. That gave us also opportunities to develop specific tools, being mobile apps, to be used to donate much quicker than doing a response to a mailing, or for example having peer-to-peer fundraising tools. That means that we do enable organizations to not only raise money, but to also reach out to the community and ask the community, would you like to help us fundraise amongst your colleagues? So it's the crowdfunding principles that comes also to the fundraising industry, which means you as a follower of the Red Cross, for example, you not only donate, but you ask your friends, dear friends, I do a specific fundraising campaign for the organization, please help me to raise that money. And it turned out to be digital is quite effective in doing that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so a real intermediator for the payment of donations, and so digital is where the potential is. We can really say this after this interview. And just a final question. Many smaller organizations are afraid that they cannot really invest in like new technology, social media. They have limited resources. Would you agree to that?
Yes, to a certain degree. Of course, they have less money than a bigger established organization. That's a matter of fact. But what I see, what most small organizations do wrong, is they try to follow the bigger organizations in doing this, the exact same thing. So they invest in direct mailings, they invest in direct dialogue programs, so people in the streets, and then they basically say, okay, digital is later. And the strategy of a smaller organizations, in my point of view, should be, where are the gaps? Because the established organizations are not that responsive in terms of trends, also having most of the opportunities. So in my point of view, the organizations, the smaller ones, should go into gaps. Also probably just invest, leave out some of the fundraising channels for the moment and just focus on the ones where they see the gap. So there is, for example, a very good example of a smaller organization called Charity Water. Charity Water is a US, New York-based organization. They decided to go just digital. No classical mailings, no street workers. They basically said, okay, digital is our business, and they're doing really well. They invested a lot of time and efforts in the digital area, and today they're seen to be one of the digital fundraising leaders worldwide, as a really good example how to raise large sums through digital channels.
So digital fundraising really offers possibilities for large and small non-profit organizations. Mm-hmm. Marco Zaug from Getunic in Zurich, Switzerland, thank you very much for being here today and sharing your expertise with us.
Thanks a lot for inviting.
And thanks for watching. Do make sure to keep clicking back on the Dukascopy TV website for latest updates and exclusive interviews like this. Have a great day and see you next time.